Your entire life, you've been told that you should not be a quitter. I'm here to tell you that that is not the case, and to stop falling for that trap of being told that if you leave something that you are a quitter. What's up, fam? Dr. Dale here. This is Permission to Be Great, where our mission is to help you walk in your greatness on a daily basis. Today, man, we're going to dive into this idea of don't quit, don't quit, don't quit, right? And off the bat, I'm going to tell you, hey, I'm not talking about things like quitting because you don't want to put the work in. I'm not talking about that, right? So you need to push through, go hard, put the work in. I'm talking about this idea of making people feel guilty when they want to take a turn in your life to go chase that greatness, right? Our mission here on this podcast is to really help you get out there and chase your greatness. So I'm talking about the folks who are stuck in a position and they can't go get that greatness because they're made to feel guilty about quitting. We're going to talk about why quitting is not a bad thing all the time, right? I got five things for you. Let's burn through these, okay? So number one, quit thinking that quitting is a bad thing. First thing you got to quit. I'm going to give y'all 5 things to quit, okay? Quit thinking that quitting is a bad thing, right? Obviously, I'm a lung doctor, so I'm going to go to the most extreme example for me, right? The most extreme example for me is smoking. Smoking. I can't stand people smoking. I'm not knocking you if you smoke, but I just can't stand it because I'm in there on a regular basis diagnosing people with lung cancer and having to tell them about life expectancy is not going to be that long, et cetera, because of the impact of smoking. It's good to quit smoking. Eating junk food. It's good to quit eating junk food, right? There's certain things that is good to quit. So the first thing that we need to do if we're going to go on this journey to achieving greatness via quitting some things in our lives is understand that sometimes it's okay to quit. Sometimes the right thing to do is to quit, right? Sometimes the right thing to do is to quit. And the reason I'm doing this episode today is, I woke up and I was just looking at all the stuff and thinking about where I plan to go these next few years with my team and how we're going to grow and go do more things, right? I thought, I've got to quit some things. There are a few things that I just have to quit, right? In order to get to where I'm trying to get to, I need to quit these things. And people are going to look at me and think, oh man, why'd you make that decision and do that? You just left them out hanging. But I'm on a mission for greatness. And to get to where I want to get to, 24 hours in a day, I've got to quit some things to get there. I'm willing to accept that responsibility, right? So my question to you right here off the bat is, what things in your life do you need to quit? What things in your life are holding you back from getting to that next level that you're trying to get to achieve your greatness, but they're keeping you back and you haven't been able to quit them because you've been told your whole life that you don't want to be a quitter. Don't be a quitter. Don't be a quitter. Don't be a quitter. What things do you need to quit? All right. So the second thing that we need to quit is quit living life without a mission. Now, this one is huge, right? Quit living life without a mission. Right. I think Eric Thomas said something like, stop waking up every day like it was an accident or something like that. Right. But that's real. Stop waking up every day like you don't know what's going on. Waking up like, oh, let me just go do, I'm a robot. Let me go go through the daily routine, the daily habit, and just get through the day. Stop living just to get by and live to be great. Stop living just to get by. Live to experience this thing called life that God gave us. Stop living just to get by. Right. Actually, an old song that I like is a song called Just to Get By. I think it was by Talib Kweli. And the whole song is about people do things, talk about, smoking or stuff like that. People do things just to get by in life. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Quit the stuff that you have to quit so you stop just trying to get by. Let's go live a glorious, magnificent type of life. Right. That doesn't mean you got to have the nice cars and extravagant. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not an extravagant person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a life that brings you joy, fulfillment, that you can contribute to the joy and fulfillment of other people's lives. Right. So quit living life without a mission. Right now my kids and I were into this Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson's a series that just came out. And, my wife's big on trying to get my kids to read. So she's got my oldest boy. He's reading the Percy Jackson book. I don't know if my middle boy's reading it or not, but they're reading this book, Percy Jackson. Right. And, just watching this series that's come out right now. And at the start of the show, Percy's just a kid. He's just kind of going about his regular kid life. And he starts noticing some strange things happening, right? And comes under attack. And at one point, he realizes that he's Poseidon's son. And once he realizes that he's Poseidon's son, that helps him realize his abilities. And once he realizes who he is and his abilities, he's on a new mission. He gets a mission. He understands his purpose in life now. And because he understands his purpose, he starts doing greater things than he ever imagined he could do, right? He's got a purpose. He's waking up every day with a new mission. He's going out there chasing. He's got so much more passion for living. And that's because he stopped living without a purpose. And honestly, that started when he realized whose he was. For me, I know I belong to God, right? I know I belong to God. And once you realize whose you are, just like Percy, he realized that he's Poseidon's kid. Once he realized whose kid he was, whose child he was, that gave him the ability to realize what powers, what capabilities he has. And once you realize your abilities, you can go do great things. You can go do great things. As a child of God, I understand that I'm not God. I'm not God, right? I have limited powers, but as a child of God, I understand that God is a creator. I understand that we are made in the imago Dei, right? The imago Dei, the image of God. God is a creator. God gave us the ability to make things. God gave us the ability to be creative. Use that towards the greatness, right? Realize whose you are. Just like Percy realized that he was Poseidon's kid, and that he said, wait, if I'm Poseidon's kid, I'm gonna have some abilities here. And he starts to see them, then that gives him purpose. Quit living your life without purpose. Also think about the Matrix, right? So Matrix, you got Neo and everybody else living in this world that's controlled by computers and such, but they're in this fake reality, right? They're living in this world and they're feeling okay. You're going about it, just getting through life, right? Thinking that everything is fine and dandy until he meets Morpheus, right? Morpheus unveils the truth to him, and it gives him a choice, right? You remember the scene with the pill? I think it's the red and the blue pill, and Neo has an opportunity to make a choice which way he wants to go. Right. The choice that Neo's really making is a choice of purpose, to quit living life without a purpose. He says, if I take this pill, I can have a purposeful life, go chase truth, go try to do something great, phenomenal for the whole world. Quit living your life without purpose. Quit waking up every day just going to work because it's going to pay the bills, and you get to come home and have your snack and get on the couch and watch TV, whatever. Quit living life just to get by. Quit living without a purpose, right? Figure out what your purpose is. We're not going to have time in this episode, but we're going to definitely dive into that in more detail. And a lot of my episodes we talk about purpose, but we're going to dive into that in a lot more detail upcoming episode, right? But you've got to quit living life without a purpose, right? And once you understand that you have a purpose, once you understand what your purpose is, once you get some clarity around that, then you have to come to the question, and this is what a lot of you guys are thinking, right? Because I know a lot of you will watch this episode, and when you hear the word quit, you think about job. And some of you want to quit your jobs. Some of you want to quit your job. Some of y'all just do, right? I'm a doctor. I love practicing medicine, so I get great fulfillment for that. So I'm going to keep on practicing medicine. But I get it. Some of you are not happy with where you're at, and you want to quit your job. At least I'm going to keep practicing medicine for my foreseeable future, right? Some of you are thinking, man, is Dr. Dale going to tell me it's okay to quit my job? I'm going to tell you, it might be. I can't answer that question for you. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You need to get a purpose, understand your mission. And if your job does not align with your purpose and your mission, you might need to consider making some moves. All right. Now, don't go doing anything, irrational and doing stuff where you can't eat, feed your children. I'm not telling you to do that stuff, right? If you got responsibilities, you've got to take care of your responsibilities first, right? If you have responsibilities, take care of your responsibilities first. But in whatever you're doing, don't do something just for the sake of doing and getting by. You need to be doing things mission focused, purpose focused to move yourself towards that greatness. Some of you quitting your job might be the right thing to do. Some of you quitting your job is not the right thing to do. All I know is you need to be working towards your life's mission. And if you're not, that's why I say quit living without purpose. Third thing we're going to quit is quit wasting time. You've got to quit wasting time. Right? I was looking this up. It says the average American, this was like 2020 data or something, the average American spends almost 3 hours a day just watching TV. Almost 3 hours a day just watching TV. I'll tell you, I watch a little bit of TV, not too much. And when I do, just the way I function, I'm always doing work. Just because I love it, right? I just love working. I love always trying to build something cool, avant-garde, doing something. I hate wasting time. My son, we used to go to his basketball practice. I'd have to drive like almost an hour away, and I'd be sitting in the gym, and he's practicing basketball. And I was always doing work, but I'd just be looking around this gym like, man, we're just sitting here just watching them play basketball. What can I do to make my time worthwhile? So we made a basketball series, right? I made this basketball series called Ranked and Ready. Put it out, partnered with JaVale McGee on it. And we made the series and we put it out. And all that just started because I was tired of sitting in the gym thinking, man, I could be using this time to do so much more, right? So what can you do in your life? What things are you doing in your life? How are you spending time that you just look around and say, man, I could use this time for something else? Think about it. The average American spends 3 hours a day, almost 3 hours a day, watching TV. It takes me about an hour to put this podcast together. I'll talk for whatever 15, 20 minutes on here, right? Then it take me maybe 40 minutes to put it together and get it out there on YouTube. So that means in the time that the average American spends watching TV in a week, 21 hours, I can make 21 podcasts. So in 3 weeks, I can make enough content to cover an entire year. While somebody's watching TV, the time you watch TV for 3 weeks, I can make enough content to cover a year, right? So if you're not where you want to be in life, right? If you're like, man, I wish I could just get to the next level, stop watching TV. Stop watching TV. If you are not where you want to be in life, stop complaining, turn the TV off and start working. Turn the TV off and start working, right? Great example, J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, right? The phenomenal writer of the book series Harry Potter, right? J.K. Rowling was a teacher. She was teaching, I believe, English in Portugal or something like that. She was a teacher. But she had this idea of a book she wanted to write. So what would she do? She'd come home late nights, go to the cafes while people are watching TV, doing whatever they're doing. And she was writing, working on a book. And you guys know the story. She got turned down, rejection. People were saying it's not going to be a good book. They didn't want to pick up the book. All she needed was one person. That one person picked up the book. Boom. Now she's made one of the biggest, if not the biggest, book series of all times. Now she doesn't have to ever work if she doesn't want to work, because she decided to stop wasting time. Stop wasting time. All right. The fourth thing we're going to quit here is we're going to quit letting fear stop us. Quit letting fear stop you. Right. And that, notice I didn't say quit being afraid, because you can't quit being afraid. Fear is something real. I think it was Nelson Mandela that said something to the effect of, I've come to learn that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the triumph over it. Something like that, right? Saying that in order to be successful, let me take that back. In order to be brave, you have to have fear. Bravery requires fear. In order to be brave, you have to have fear, right? Bravery is overcoming fear. That's what that is. Bravery means you overcame fear. So it's okay to be afraid, but the idea is quit letting it stop you from doing the things that you know you need to do to move you towards your mission. Quit letting it stop you from doing the things that you know you need to do to move towards your mission. Oh, I've been scared of a lot of stuff. Right, I've got a little bit of fear in me right now. My organization, we're hiring somebody. I'm about to pull out some six figures. I'm about to put out some real money here to take on a risk and do something that I haven't done in this particular way before, and put some money into some stuff. Right, I got fear that I might lose my money, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. Why? Because I understand the mission. I understand the assignment, and I'm pursuing that greatness. And because I'm pursuing that greatness, I gotta be brave. I gotta have courage. I've got to triumph, like Nelson Mandela said. I've got to triumph over that fear. Think about Mandela, right? Eventually became the president of South Africa. But think about him, right? Went to prison. He was fighting apartheid, right? Social injustice. He was civil rights advocates. Civil rights activists fighting all these injustices and apartheid and all that stuff. He was afraid. I'm sure he was afraid. But he did not let that fear stop him. He had courage. He was brave. Ended up going to prison, but he fought hard to get to the point where he can come out, be the president, and help revolutionize the whole country, make it a much better place. Martin Luther King, don't you think he was scared? I'm sure he was. Jesus Christ, right? My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Jesus sweat blood in hydrosis. He literally sweat blood. It's a real thing. It's not made up. He literally sweat blood, right? When you have extreme pressures, right? Fear and stress. That's what literally happened to Jesus. But he was courageous. He was brave. He knew the assignments and he overcame it. So stop letting your fear hold you back. Think it through, plan it through, make rational decisions, but don't let the fear hold you back, right? Quit letting fear stop you. And the fifth thing we're going to quit here is we're going to quit thinking we got to do it alone, right? We're going to quit thinking that we have to do it alone. This is easily one of the biggest things that stops people from pursuing that greatness, achieving that greatness, is because you're like, man, how can I do this? How can I do that? How can I do that? It's too much for me, right? And you start freaking out. But here's the deal. You don't have to do it alone. Quit thinking that it's all on your back. Michael Jordan, 1980s. Jordan's one of the best players in the world at that point in time, if not the best player in the world. Arguably, most people probably say he was the best player in the world then. Struggling to win a championship. Can't get past those Pistons, right? He's trying to do everything by himself. Bring in this guy named Scottie Pippen. He's helping out, right? bringing this guy named Tex Winter. Tex Winter implements this thing called the triangle offense, where the triangle offense gets other people involved, takes the pressure off Jordan's back. And Jordan's like, wow, the game's a lot easier when I don't have to do it by myself. The game's a lot easier when I know I got teammates I can rely on. And he's still getting the shots up. He's still getting his points. He's still the guy. He's still Jordan. But as soon as he bought into the triangle offense, things became so much easier. Kobe Bryant was the same story. Once he bought into that triangle offense, things became easier. And the idea there is that you don't have to do it on your own. Quit thinking you have to do it on your own. One of my favorite movies, I'm going to be real, keep it real with you. I tear up in this movie. At the end of this movie, I tear up, right? And my wife laughs at me, but whatever. Cool Runnings. I tear up and say, I'm all about like hard work and giving your all, right? If you give your all on something, I'm going to support you as long as it's something that I believe is a good thing. I'm going to support you, right? People who are lazy, I can't get down with. But people who give their all with stuff, man, I got that's the soft spot in my heart, man. This movie, Cool Runnings. So they start the movie off with these guys, 4-track stars. Spoiler alert, right? If you're going to watch it. So they start the movie off with 4-track stars. And they're all trying to do their individual track races. And they're going out there and they're so focused on doing their individual races. But, you're running the race, somebody gets tripped up and it messes them all up. And none of them qualify to go to the Olympics. And this one guy, Irv Blitzer or something like that was his name, was played by John Candy in the movie. He comes along and he convinces them that, hey, you guys can do this thing called bobsledding and do it together as a team. And they were struggling to get over that hump. But once they finally bought into this idea of, I don't have to do it by myself, once they quit thinking that they had to do everything by themselves and they started working as a team, they go on to do some great stuff. And the end of the movie, man, I get a tear. Quit thinking that you have to do this by yourself, because you don't. You don't have to do this by yourself, right? All right, so quick recap, man. So 5 things that you need to quit. Quit thinking that quitting is always bad. That's first thing. Some things in life you got to quit, right? So let's get to that point. Let's get that straight, right? Number 2, quit living life without purpose and mission. Quit living life without a purpose and a mission. Number 3, quit wasting time. If you're not where you want to be, you need to be focused on getting to where you want to be and cut out the distractions, right? You have no business doing all this extra stuff if you're not where you want to be. Yeah, do some stuff for stress relief, relax, enjoy yourself, but not in excess to the point where it's preventing you from getting to where you want to be in life. No excuses. That's on you, right? Number 4, quit letting fear stop you. Be courageous, be brave. It requires some fear. It's okay, but triumph over it, like Nelson Mandela said. And number 5, quit thinking you got to do it alone, because you don't. I'm here for you, right? I got this here to teach you, right? People around you are here for you, right? Tons of things out there to help you get to where you want to get to. All right, guys, man. Hey, that's it. Look, so YouTube knows what you like. So right now, YouTube's going to show you a couple of videos that they think, hey, you're going to love. So go ahead and click on that video, subscribe, do your boy a favor, hit that subscribe button. Love you guys. See you next time.